How do I determine the amount of minutes I will meet with my students? Well, that's going to depend on every single teacher. Depends on their caseload and depends on the amount of minutes that every student has in their IEPs. So no teacher is going to have the same amount of minutes of direct instruction as we all have individualized plans for our students. For example, we have a student number 4 with a disability with a learning disability, receives once a week for literacy instruction for 25 minutes, once a week math, once a week work completion, and once a week self-advocacy and organizational skills. When the IEP that we're going to have for every single student at the beginning of the school year, when we share our contingency plan, we are going to talk to the parents and we're going to communicate with them. These are the minutes that they are receiving. Do you think it's doable? Do you think we should modify, and instead of being maybe a Google Meet for every single one, we can do a CISO activity and CISO or Schoology activity for work completion and organizational skills. Very similar to what we did during distance learning. We're going to meet with the parents and we're going to decide what will be best for our students. This is going to guide us, and all your team has to decide and has to come up with the idea. Now, we have this my caseload. There are two different ways that a sample schedule could look like. Now, remember, this is just a sample schedule. I did it on Excel because my brain works really well with Excel and tables. If you prefer to do it on Word, please do it on Word. This is just to give you a frame of reference, to give you an idea of how to create your schedule. So for example, in here, we have Google Meet. It's color-coded, as I mentioned in the previous video. So at the bottom, I put the total amount of hours, for example, that you will meet, right? So we have the skills, cognitive, math, literacy, etc. And then we have hours on Google Meet, and then on the other side, we have assignment on CISA or Schoology. So for example, in this sample schedule is very, very heavy on the Google Meet hours. So let's say that this is also going to be a teacher preference and a parent preference, right? If the teacher really wants to do Google Meet and meet with the students, this particular teacher on Monday is going to have 2 hours of literacy plus 1.5 hours of math plus 0.5 of cognitive skills and 0.5 of organizational, rounding up to 4.5 hours, 4.5 hours of instruction in Google Meet. She will only have one CISO assignment. On Tuesday is very similar, right? So she will have 2, 3, 4 hours of Google Meets and 2 assignments to assign. Now I created another schedule with my same caseload, but a different scenario. So it is the same caseload, but I put different CISO assignments and different Google Meet times that the teacher would be doing with the students. So for example, again, skills, all the skills are on the left column, and then we have hours in Google Meet, and then assignments on CISA. So in this schedule, there are more assignments on CISA. They are, for example, 3.3 and a quarter of an hour of hours of Google Meet, and 4 assignments that will have to be. Now remember that these assignments are not just for one student, but for several students. So you have to, still see those assignments, correct those assignments, and provide feedback to those assignments. This one, on Tuesday, for example, we have 2 hours of Google Meet, but we are really heavy on the assignments, and we have 7 assignments that we have to assign to however many students are in these groups, and so on. So I just did it I just did these two schedules so you can get an idea that it's not cut and dry. It depends a lot on your caseload. Remember, this is a high caseload of 19 students, K1, K5, uh, and we have settings 31, 1, and 2. And I hope you find this kit helpful. And if not, give us a call and we will be happy to help you.